Hey, welcome guys back to the Musings&Review channel. I'm your host Maverick, bringing to you episode 5 of Maou-sama, Retry. I don't even know why I look forward to this series every single week. Like, the adaptation isn't exactly what we would call stellar, right? Now, I've been ragging on the animation quality for this for quite a while now. But still, in spite of all that, there's something to be said about watching a series that you really like being adapted into anime form and seeing them being able to move and whatnot, right? And being properly voice acted. So that's still a plus, I guess. And that's why I keep on looking forward to this series every single week. But anyways, enough on that. So last episode, we really started to open up the particular setting of this world, specifically how it actually draws from two different isekais and then combines them together. Or is that, well, basically our main character is isekai into another world, but then he brings characters from yet another isekai into this world. So there we go, a double layer of isekai, if you will. And with this, with last episode, he first brought over you, who is a doctor, if you will, quite a sadistic doctor. But then again, every single character within this series has their own little quirks as well. You guys will find out much later. Well, maybe not much later, but you guys will start finding out since we're not done introducing new characters to the series. As I said before, this is not exactly that focused on combat. It's more about, the Maou-sama, the demon lord, quote unquote. How he's interacting with the people of this kingdom, how he's setting up or beginning to set up his own empire, yada yada yada. So I expect us to see more of the same within this episode as well, with some more characters and more hilarious interactions. So let's just get right into it. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Ah. Ah. Well, I mean, he did say, but. By the way, her armor is absolutely ridiculous. Right. Let me skip this real quick. I'll see you guys in a second. And back. Utopia. Of course, since the Demon Lord isn't exactly a Demon Lord. As you might guess, their plans will be foiled by I won't spoil anything. So I believe they're headed to the Holy City right now. Ah, okay, never mind. First, we gotta build a base. She is just a child at heart. And yes, those are rabbit ears. And these two are there playing in the dirt. It's base building time. Like I said, compared with fighting, this series concentrates a little bit on other stuff. I'm sure you guys would see by now the appeal of this village as both a hospital and as a hot sports resort. They could potentially try opening a casino as well. Oh, okay. I actually. Huh, she uses grenades. I actually didn't know that. They'll question it. Hop. I'm not quite sure if translating it as hop. Yeah, like I said, don't question it. Infinite water. Well, come on. They did say that humans would be disappointed if they didn't end their sentences that way. Isn't it funny how fertilizer is actually a mid-level item? And a well that generates infinite water and recovery items is a low-level skill item. Like, who balances Infinity Game? It's that guy. Well... And, of course, the church. And here we go. The other Holy Maiden. So with that, all three are here. Of course not. Ah, poor eldest. I wonder how many of you guys still remember how she was like when she first. Yeah. Aww. Alright, nothing really much happened, but I guess they haven't actually arrived at the capital yet. Oh well. Okay, a bit of a quiet episode this time, but it really paves the way to what this series is actually more about, rather than some, like I said, some adventure action anime, right? So let's talk a little bit about things that they didn't really touch on. So first of all, I think it's fairly obvious by now that they have very terrible naming conventions. As we can see now with more and more characters coming into light, their names and their titles and whatnot. So the in-universe joke for this is that the people of the Kingdom of Holy Light are incredibly untalented at naming things. And of course, what this basically implies is that the author of the original light novel can't be arsed to actually think of good names, right? So essentially, it's a meme, if you will. Like, and really, if you think about it, this entire series, at least for this beginning part, can be a meme, whichever way you look at it. Like, come on, there's literally a race called rabbits, right? Called rabbits, and who literally add pion and usa at the end of every single sentence that they say. Now, okay, just to quickly give you guys info in case you don't know what that means. Pion is the Japanese equivalent to the sound a rabbit makes while it's prancing around. So like pion pion pion, right? So it's a it's a cute little term that the Japanese use, and so like that is entirely a meme, right? And if you think about it, the more I think about it, the more I feel like this type of animation actually suits it very well, because it's not in any way serious, right? So if you think about it, it's basically meme the anime, right? um, and anyways, so that is that part. And again, within this episode, with the Mao actually starting to plan out, building a hospital, building hot springs, we get into basically what the Mao actually is more concentrated on doing for this part of the anime. He wants to basically build up a base of operations, get all the basic stuff out of the way. He has a place to call home, to call his base, so if he can base his forces there, he can get a steady revenue, steady income through different stuff, and then he can try to control the politics and economy of this kingdom through amassing his fortune and luxury and so on and so forth, right? Which we'll begin to see more and more of within the next few episodes as he gradually integrates him into the kingdom using his superior technology, knowledge, magic, whichever you want to call it. again, I'm not going to go into too in-depth with the mechanics of this. If normally with isekais, I always try to explore, you know, what kind of mechanics it's using, what kind of item systems or leveling systems or magic systems that it actually has. This one, as I said, the author does have some semblance of a system planned out, but it's generally not important. Basically, the Mao can do whatever the heck he wants to do, and you just need to keep that in mind. And speaking of which, there's actually something that I don't know how many of you guys have noticed, and that is, you know, during the transition scenes, like the halfway point, where there will be character cards coming up, and they'll tell some of the stats of the characters, right? So in the past, we only saw Mao and the other people from within this world, but now with you here as well, we get to see her stats, right? And we can see that her stats in itself is the same as the Mao, like way overpowered compared to anyone here within this world. So you can say that any of the characters that I brought over from Infinity Game are essentially as overpowered as the Mao, and that is super overpowered, right? They at level 1 basically can take on entire armies at their own. So there's really not any... I feel like this is part of the reason why, you know, there's really not much point into digging deeper into the mechanics of this world, because basically they're cheating in a sense. They're basically cheating. They're not bound by the rules of this world, so there's, in essence, there's not really any need to understand it in the first place, is what I'm trying to get at, right? So anyways, yeah, I think that's pretty much all I want to talk about for this episode. We also get to meet the third Holy Maiden, who is, to be fair, a lot more normal than the other two, than most of the characters here, but she'll have her moment later as well, as with all the other characters as well. So stay tuned for that, and hope you guys will like what's going to happen next. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me about them. Otherwise, I feel like that's good enough, and we'll just continue looking forward to the next episode. So, I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.